Welcome to Women Getting Visible. I am your host, Christina. Who will be up next in the golden chair? International speaker, producer, podcaster, ballroom dancer, and founder of Women Getting Visible, Christina Vidovich. Well, hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me here at this moment. I am running it live today. I am doing the thing here with myself as the featured guest, as myself. So I am here playing in the studio, which is fantastic. But thank you so much, as I said, for joining me now. So now we've got to turn down that music just a little bit. Just a skosh. That's the word I'm looking for. All right, terrific. So thank you again. So today I scheduled this as the why, getting visible. Why it is so important. And I have a lot to say about that because there's a lot of passion that has come from me in the reason that I decided that Women Getting came to be born in this moment. Now, yes, there are a lot of women who are doing visibility in different aspects in different places. And in my new elevator pitch, hi, I'm Christina Vidovich. So nice to meet you. I'm a producer and pod host. I help women get visible through confidence, through podcasting, conferences, and community. And with that, I want to invite you to our community. You can find us everywhere at Women Getting Visible. You can find me anywhere at Women Getting Visible. And you can always reach out because I am available for the calls. I just got off an interesting networking call. And one of the things that she said was, don't avail yourself to everyone. And yeah, there are times and a place, but I am not looking at the dollar signs on someone's head. I am looking at the value that they have, because sometimes that visibility comes simply from, hey, I need to talk to someone in whatever angle that is. It may be a private matter. It may be a very public matter. It may be something about business. It may be about podcasting. It may be about ballroom dancing. It may be about conference and confidence. I've got conference on the mind. Oh my goodness. So with that on the mind, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to share with you the conference. Who will be up next in the golden? And it is that. Oh my. Have we lost it? It's the introduction and joy of you being able to come to the conference itself. Well, guess what? I have learned how to do things on the fly. So we just type in invitation, and I should find an invitation in here somewhere. Well, you've got to spell invitation correctly. So I'm just having some fun because guess what? This is what I've learned about lives. They are So that's the commercial. If you haven't seen it on YouTube, go to our YouTube channel, Women Getting Visible. We just launched that not even 3 weeks ago, and with this live, and we're at, I think, 13 subscribers as of today. So that's pretty exciting. Watching the numbers going up on LinkedIn, and join us there at Women Getting Visible as well. And we are 26, 7 or 8 right now. And even in our Facebook community, we are 31 at last check. And that number may have gone up since then. But back to the why of getting visible and why now. Because too many brilliant, Capable and creative women have spent decades playing small, staying silent, or waiting for permission to be seen or heard. Because midlife isn't a closing door, it's a powerful beginning. Because the world needs your voice, your wisdom, and your lived experience more now than ever before. We're living in a time of profound shift, and women are stepping into leadership, creativity, reinvention, and unapologetic self-expression. We're done shrinking. We're done hiding. We're ready to rise, and we're doing it together. So now is the moment to speak up, show up, and get visible for your business, for your community, and for yourself. Those are the words that I wrote on the website, if you've had a chance to take a look at it, because it's so important to find our visibility. And as I mentioned, it's so many things to so many people. As I've been talking to and interviewing women and being on PR calls and networking and communities, what am I hearing? I don't know how to get myself visible. I've written a book. How do I sell it to people? How do I tell them about it and not necessarily even sell the book? I want to get on podcasts. I don't know how to get on podcasts. You're a podcaster. Should I start a podcast? Maybe, maybe not. But being on podcasts is very powerful. I will say that right now. One of the things I'm doing coming up soon is sharing how to start your basic 101 podcast. Back in the days of when I opened my ballroom studio, it was called 2 Left Feet. I laughed and laughed about the name because it brought me joy. And I said, this is exactly what I want people to think of when they're looking to start something that they are not comfortable with. And that is why women getting visible is an important term for me. And I woken up with the drive that I had back when I decided to open up my ballroom studio and company, with the same drive that I have now, because it's so important to get women's voices visible. Can you visually see someone's voice? So sometimes it's just the words that we're using. The visibility. Social media all the time. How many social medias can you be on in a day and still get your work done? How many social medias can you be on a day and still make sure that everything you need to do at home is done? Take care of your family, take care of your friends, take care of yourself first of all. That is also why I have mindfulness motivation in 10 minutes, because it's another way for people to find that inner space. And I had a very interesting conversation. I was at Podcast Movement last week in Dallas, and that's where I ran my live from. And I had 15 different women who stepped up and said, yeah, I'll be on the space and find out about visibility and say something about it, who I am, because don't just tell me about what you think is, who are you and what are you doing? It's just as important, because you're here for a reason. And so in those moments, I met a poet. You're going to see all of these. I met podcast producers. I met authors. I met podcasters. I met women entrepreneurs saying, I'm thinking about starting a podcast. So many places that they want to share their stories and their visibility. And stories matter. And here are some stories that I want to share with you, because I thought they were so important in visibility. And again, why? Why is visibility valuable? So here's history lesson number 1 of 3. Claudette Colvin. You may have heard of her, you may not have. In 1955, the civil rights movement in the U.S. She was 10 years old, born in Montgomery, Alabama, who refused to give up her seat on a bus. 9 months before Rosa Parks. A lot of people know about Rosa Parks and how the civil rights movement said, we're going to test the waters. So Miss Claudette Colvin, 9 months before Rosa Parks, was sitting in the front of the bus. But she became invisible. And why we don't hear her story as much? She was overlooked because she's young, 15 years old. Dark-skinned. There was segregation in this country at the time, and later became pregnant. The civil rights leaders feared that she wouldn't be the, in quotes, right face, end quote. Her impact, her case became part of a legal challenge that ended segregation on buses. So our lesson, visibility is not about perfection, it's about courage. Even if you aren't chosen as the face, your voice and your presence change that. The drive change can create change. Change is the ever living word in my mind right now. Claudette showed up and showed us why visibility is vital. And a woman's voice at every age, even at 15, was still important, even when the world was dismissing who she was and what she had to say. And isn't that impactful? Because one of the things that I talk about in my elevator pitch is, who do I help? Midlife women. Now, midlife is a beautiful place. I pretty much think of midlife as 35 until we're no longer walking this earth anymore. And that's fine. But at 15, we're in our beautiful adult mind already. We don't have the life experience, but we're already there. And the fact that at 15, she even made the decision to stand up for something she believed in and to be supported by the people who said, let's do this, and never get recognition. Wow, how impactful is that? But she went on to tell her story. She went on to be part of that court case, and she went on to see someone like Rosa Parks stand in the spotlight, because there's many of us who have been before we step into the spotlight. It's just like being on stage as a dancer. You're waiting in the wings for your time, and then it's your time. So make the best of it, because your story matters. If you've looked at a post recently on LinkedIn, feel free to follow me at Christina Vidovich on LinkedIn. I put a post up and then I read it with "Your story matters." Following it with, I'm not the first person to say that, and I know I'm not, but it's important enough that you know that your story matters. Do I need to say more? Let's go on to history lesson number 2. This is a fun one. And when I looked this again, I was very excited because I knew who it was. And if you are a movie buff of the black and white movies, the glory days of Hollywood, it wasn't easy for women then either. As a dancer, the women didn't have the same rules and or contracts that the men did. And that's a whole nother episode we'll go into. But Miss Ginger Rogers would work through the night sometimes to get her cuts just right. In high heels and backwards, I think of her book. She did everything that Fred did. And she would have to work twice, 3, 4 times as hard. Fred would get his morning in, whatever routine, show up in the morning with brand new shoes every day and several extra pairs ready to go to do a shoot and get it done a few hours during daylight. So it's just, again, an interesting time that we think of them as a partner. Thank goodness for Ginger's hard work, and that we remember who she is because of it. She made her visible. But that wasn't story 2 of our history lesson. It was just an aside because, well, dance. Hedy Lamarr, a 1940s Hollywood actress and inventor. Some people know this story, some don't. Who was Hedy Lamarr? a glamorous film star from the 1940s. Most people knew her for her looks, but not her mind. We know that story, don't we? Why she was invisible. In her time, women weren't taken seriously as scientists or inventors. Her real contributions were hidden behind her Hollywood image. Her impact? She co-invented frequency hopping technology, the foundation of Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and GPS. The world now runs on her invisible brilliance and on invisible waves that we are paying for. Again, that's another podcast for another story. Yes. I'm live streaming now. I'm live streaming. Oh, fantastic. And her lesson in her visibility for Hedy Lamarr is visibility isn't just about being seen. It's about being recognized for your whole self, that women can and must claim credit for their brilliance. Hedy teaches us that when women hide parts of themselves, the world loses out. And visibility is vital because it lets us be known in our full that we have that visibility. It's not just the role that someone does. Pretty powerful. And I know that mentions technology today, so it makes it relevant to anybody who's listening and going, oh, okay. But I challenge you to take a look at Hedy Lamarr and see during World War II what was going on and why she was important then too. It's fascinating. Again, a silver screen bombshell. That's the words I'm looking for. And brains too. But a lot of the actors of past and today, and we throw the word actor versus actress anymore for everyone, are about brains, about experiences, about giving the creative light into a role. And we often remember the role that they play and not always the person themselves. And sometimes it's the other way. Visibility is such a tricky game when we're out there. And this third story is less history and more recent. So some of you have heard of this one. And if you haven't, again, I tell you to take a moment and look it up or just listen to the story. So Malala Yousafzai, she has been working for global women's rights. Who is she? A Pakistani girl who spoke out for girls' right to education. You would think that's a simple thing that girls could study. But she was shot in the head by the Taliban at 15 years old for daring to be visible, for daring to talk up about education, for daring to speak about why she and other girls and women should have the opportunity to learn. Why was she invisible? Because she was born into a society where girls' voices were not allowed. She was expected to stay silent. Her impact? She survived and became the youngest Nobel Peace Prize laureate. Now, she's a global voice for education and women's rights. You may have seen her. Our lesson is visibility can be dangerous, but silence is more dangerous. Her story proves that one voice can ignite a global movement. Malala reminds us why visibility is vital, because being seen and heard creates ripples of change that reach far beyond ourselves. So think about that for a moment, minus the Ginger Rogers. The three women, Claudette Colvin, Hedy Lamarr, and Malala Yousafzai. You can see what may not move forward or may not happen had they not spoken up, had they not gotten themselves visible even if they were invisible, getting things done. They pushed forward and got the credit. We need to step forward and find our skin. And sometimes we're embarrassed. We're embarrassed to share who we are. With our shoulders curved, our heads down, and we don't want to share our knowledge. We don't want to ask for a price tag for our knowledge. We want to just shrink into the room. Now, you can be a part of the room and not be shrinking. That is where the community piece comes in. And that's where I find it so important that you stand up and share your voice. If you are interested in being on the Women Getting Visible podcast, the live stream with me, join the community. And how you're going to do that is you're going to join our Patreon community at Women Getting Visible. That is where all the news is going to be, and that is where I'm inviting you. This is where I want to hand select some of the women to join us that you will enjoy. Now, we'll have other times where we'll do some recordings and we'll bring people in because they're fun, they're fabulous. We'll do panels. But I just want you to remember, I know your story is important. If you're still here and you're still watching, you know you have a spark and an idea that you want to share. And I'm here to be one of those cheerleaders for you to help share that story. I am. It's what I do. If you listen to my mindfulness motivation in 10 minutes, I go by the name Avalon, which is my mother's family name, which, to give you a quick little story, as there were ships traversing the world and coming from Spain, they were British navigators, and someone named Avalon hopped off in the Philippine Islands. And there comes the family name. We have traced that back, not to Magellan, because he was there as well, but it's in a way to honor my family's name, the Avalon name. And that is why it's Mindfulness Motivation in 10 Minutes with Avalon. So I also want to make sure that I am inviting you to that conference that's coming up. I am so excited to have all the guest speakers that we have coming up. We have our opening featured speaker, who is Diana Dunbar Place. She's an incredible woman. She was in marketing and corporate for years, and when she stepped out, she went, okay, what am I going to do for me? And she has an amazing story about what she went through in her own health struggles and her own reawakening and her aha moments. If you want to know more about that in her 333 collective, reach out to me and I will point you in the direction. She's an amazing leader, and she is our opening keynote on Saturday, October 11th in Washington, D.C. Then we have our keynote, who is Sarah Nelson, the international president of the Flight Attendants Union. When you talk about another place where women get invisible, we look at flight attendants as the ones who are handing us our soda, our snacks, that they're actually there for our safety. That is the number one reason that flight attendants are there. They run an invisible job. And we forget sometimes of how important what they're doing is. Not only has Sarah walked the aisle that you may have been on, but she is now president of the Flight Attendants Union. And you may have even seen her when flight have issues, showing up on camera internationally and saying, hey, this is what's going on. Again, she is our featured closing keynote on Saturday. And then yours truly, Christina Vidovich, is the closing keynote on Sunday, where I will talk to you about your visibility and your confidence. At the conference. I'm telling you, I have conference on the mind. October 10, 11, 12 in Washington, D.C. So reserve now for early bird pricing. not only do we have these incredible speakers, and there's are others, these are just a couple I want to highlight, but we have incredible workshops coming up. If you're watching this live stream, you will see every week 3 p.m. on Eastern Time, noon Pacific Coast Time, 8 p.m. in the UK, and 5 a.m. on Thursday in Australia. We are having this live stream. You can always catch us on YouTube or Facebook, Christina Vidovich at the Facebook, to watch these amazing women. So I am highlighting our speakers first, and their visibility journeys are so incredible. Our workshop leaders, these aren't just sit back workshops. These are interactive. I've asked all of the ladies, let's get them involved, because we can take in so much information going to do, put it back on that to-do list. But if we aren't doing, we're in visibility journey, aren't we? I want you to move forward, and I want you to get the goals that you're looking to do out there for the world. That one little idea can blossom into many. Sunday, we have what's called Back to Me, and I love this piece of the conference because Saturday, after the VIP dinner on Friday, we have all of the keynotes, all of the workshops, and some networking. Your brain will be full. Sunday is Back to Me. Sunday's the opportunity for you to sit back. We have some women coming in to do some entertaining with us, who will do some movement with us, some stretching, some yoga, some mindfulness, some other surprises that I will share with you when you take a look at the website, WomenGettingVisible.com. If I don't share, you don't know. This is the thing I've learned. If I don't share, you don't know. But after the movement session, I will have that closing keynote, and then we will have Sunday afternoon for more amazing networking in Washington, D.C. Join us. Take a look at that website. Again, WomenGettingVisible.com. Join our community at Patreon, Women Getting Visible. So much to be shared. And I want to share with you. I want to get you visible, not just on the stage, not just on the podcast, but in community, because there are some ladies who are said, I'm fine right where I am, but I wouldn't mind meeting some other ladies who are part of my tribe, who are part of the community, who understand what I'm going through too. So ladies, and everyone watching, I hope you have found some value in one of the reasons and the upcoming things with visibility as to why I've created Women Getting Visible and the why visibility is valuable. Start your journey today. Join us. And with that, we're going to close things out because I know your time is valuable and I don't want to waste another minute without telling you about what's coming up next week. So until then, here we go.
Who will be up next in the golden chair? Success growth strategist helping high-achieving women transform their next chapter, Barb Scala. I'm your host and founder of Women Getting Visible. Who will be up next in the golden chair? Success growth strategist helping high-achieving women transform their next chapter, Barb Scala. I'm your host and founder of Women Getting Visible.